Hello everyone, this is Martin, and today I want to show you an interesting discovery I recently found in ChatGPT. And basically, it is kind of a CSRF attack against ChatGPT users, right? So I want to first of all show you the code and actually my reasoning how I discovered this, and then I show you a live demo basically. So let's take a look at the code. So this is an HTML file which an attacker could host somewhere on the web, right? So it has like that the header here, and then the body starts, and then there's an H1 tag with the auto submit basically. So I want to send this link to an unsuspecting user, for example, and then the user clicks that link and then something happens, right? And what is going to happen basically is, and now you ask yourself like, how did I find this? Well, basically I was reverse engineering the ChatGPT plugin on Chrome Store, and I was playing with it, and I just wanted to understand how it actually works, right? And what it does, what kind of request it sends. And then something interesting came up, that it's basically doing a GET request, which is weird, like, which I know why they are doing it, because it's like a browser search, right? Like if you go to Google, there's a query parameter, and then you put your query in there. But I think treating ChatGPT like Google is probably not the right approach, right? Like, because Google is a search engine versus ChatGPT is also, there can be a state changing action. And what I mean by that is that you could, for example, do a prompt injection, right? And then the user gets wrong output, or you manipulate a memory, or any of the other videos I've done, right? And so what I figured is that you go to https chatgpt.com, right? And then you simply append, or this is how the plugin works, a query parameter called Q. And in there, you simply put your question in, like, what is the weather in Dallas, right? And this could be, for example, a prompt injection, right? Like, this is a prompt injection effectively, because the user just clicked a link and then now gets a prompt injected into their ChatGPT session, assuming that they are authenticated, right, at that point in time. And then there is another parameter, basically, which is hints. And so I think this is how ChatGPT works internally. And so I want to hint it that I want to do a search, for example. And then also a reference, which is called ext. Like, I think this is like an external call or something like this. I'm not sure. I don't have insight into ChatGPT. And then down here is simply an auto submit, right? Like that. This is like a button, which is then automatically submitted by the script, right? So pretty straightforward. But what happens now if I go to a website and I browse to this, right? Like, so I go to securityexpert.com /chat HTML. This is where the script resides. And let's see what happens. So I hit enter, it auto submits it, and it immediately goes into my ChatGPT and asks that question, what is the weather in Dallas, right? And so this is kind of CSRF, in my opinion, right? Why I'm saying this again is because the user just clicked a link by mistake, for example. And then if the user is authenticated in their browser with ChatGPT, then this result comes out of it. And obviously you can now play more like with more sophisticated payloads and things like this, like ignore the previous instructions and whatnot, and it may work. I haven't tested it to that extent, but I find it interesting that this is a potential CSRF, because the user hasn't asked for that information, and simply they clicked on a link, it was auto submitted, and then that prompt, which I predefined, which is what is the weather in Dallas, was basically put as a query here into ChatGPT, right? And I will investigate this further and see if I can produce more impact on that. But yeah, I wanted to show you this today, that you can use normal GET queries and basically then invoke prompts with ChatGPT. That's all for today, and I see you in the next video.